welcome to a yoga session for Tarrant County College. My name is Eli Yoga. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. We're here in our seated position. You can have crisscross applesauce legs, or you can have legs straight out in front of you, or if you prefer to sit back onto your heels, if that's okay for your knees, feel free to do so. Let's find ourselves focusing on our breath. Eyes can be open or closed. Attempting to breathe through the nose at all times. We're letting go of thoughts of the past. We're letting go of thoughts of the future. Finding ourselves in this present breath, in this present moment. Possibly moving into some alternate nostril breathing. If you can't, take your right thumb and close your right nostril. Now breathe in through your left nostril. Before you breathe out, close your left nostril and breathe out through your right. Now breathe in through the right. And before you breathe out, open up that left nostril and breathe out. Continue this. Every time you breathe out, switch over to open up that nostril. You may not want to perform this alternate nostril breathing if you're having sinus issues. Even if you're not having sinus issues, you might find that you may need a Kleenex. The next time you breathe in more air than the mind thinks the body can allow. The next time you breathe out more air than the mind thinks the body can allow. Notice how your breathing becomes slower and more relaxed. Let's release the whole of our nostrils and find ourselves beginning to unite breath with movement. We can switch the cross of our legs, breathing in, lengthening arms up and overhead. Breathing out to release hands and energy to our heart center. Breathe in, lengthening our arms back up and overhead. Breathing out to rest our hands down by our sides. One breath, one movement. Body, mind, continuing to work together. Breath and movement matching. Practicing the use of a positive affirmation. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Next time we breathe in, let's keep our arms elevated up and overhead. The next time we breathe out, let's release our hands. to our heart center. Finding ourselves onto all fours, hands, and knees. Preparing to move through some cow postures. Breathing out, we round into our beautiful cat. Breathing in as we arch into our beautiful cow. Breathing out, creating a C curve shape with our spine. Breathing in to open up through the chest. As we breathe out, drawing our heart center towards our navel center. As we breathe in, taking our heart center away from our navel center. We're creating a C curve shape with our spine in two opposing directions. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Returning to a child's pose extended as muscle memory of a place we can return to if our bodies need to take a break. Curling those toes under, realizing child's pose extended can serve as a substitute for down dog or walking the dog, alternating as we drop one heel down, then the next. We have our starfish hands. It's okay to stay in child's pose extended if we're receiving signals from our body for the substitute. We find ourselves stepping our right foot forward somewhat in between our hands, resting our left knee to the mat for our kneeling warrior. Breathing in, we lengthen heart center sky, maybe raise arms, maybe not. Breathe out, we release our hands back down, curling our left toes under. Runner's lunge, breathe out, we raise our left knee, breathe in as we lower. We can keep our hands resting to the floor or to blocks. We could send our hands to our right thigh. We could elevate biceps by ears, depending on what functions best for our body's ability to balance. We're releasing our hands down, resting our left knee down if we like, stepping back either down dog or child's pose extended. We find ourselves stepping our left foot forward. Right knee to the mat or not, you decide. Breathing in, kneeling warrior keeps the right knee down. Breathe out, releasing our hands to the mat by our left foot, possibly curling our left toes under as we breathe out. Activated runner's lunge, lifting and lowering our right knee. I'm not allowing my right knee to actually tap to the mat, potentially sending hands to our left thigh, maybe biceps by ears. Selecting our options wisely and breathing. We release our hands back down. We step back, down dog or child's pose extended. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we return to down dog or child's pose extended. Activated plank to down dog or plank to child's pose extended. Realizing it's okay to substitute modified plank with knees to the mat for our regular plank. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Finding ourselves sitting back into a child's pose extended, preparing for our upper body flow. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank, chest over hands. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips. Roll upward facing dog. Breathe out, maybe add your extra push-up back to your down dog or your child's pose extended. Breathing into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. Continue to move at your own perfect pace. It's okay to rest in child's pose or downward facing dog. Performing the upper body flow will strengthen through the triceps. Will get your heart rate up just a little bit in this warm-up portion, Mountain 1 phase of our yoga session. Finding ourselves returning to our down dog or our child's pose extended. Let's walk, hop, or jump, feet forward, forward fold. Using the power of our legs, we breathe in, circle sweep our arms to the sky. Breathing out, we release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Finding ourselves stepping one foot back into a wide sunflower stance. Breathing in, 5-pointed star. Breathing out as we sink into our moon god. One breath, one movement, body and mind continuing to work together. Breath and movement match. Still attempting to breathe in and out through the nose. Realizing it's okay if we have sinus issues to breathe through the mouth. Holding ourselves up into our 5-pointed star, moving into our sunflowers. Breathing in as we lengthen up, breathing out as we squat down. Sunflower circles, choose a direction, sweep the floor, and circle back up. You choose how deep you fold into your knee joints, depending on what works best for your legs. We reverse the direction of our sunflower circles. Finding ourselves back with our arms extended up and overhead, releasing hands and energy to our heart center. We're stepping forward towards the front of our mats. Mountain pose, standing, activated lateral flexion. Breathe in, both arms to the sky. Breathe out, drop one arm down and laterally flex to the side. Breathe in, both arms back up to our extended mountain. Breathing out as we laterally flex to the other side. One breath, one movement. Body and mind continuing to work together. Breath and movement match. The next time we breathe in, let's keep both arms elevated up and overhead. The next time we breathe out, let's release our hands to our heart center. Activated chair. Breathe in, lengthening our arms up and overhead. Breathe out, we fold our knees and we squat down into our chair pose. Breathing in, extended mountain. Breathing out as we sink into our chair. Embracing the flow of our breath, united with our movement. The next time we breathe in, let's hang out in our extended mountain. Breathing out as we release hands to heart center. Sun salutations, palms are facing forward. We'll begin with our left leg today. Breathe in, lengthening arms up and overhead, extended mountain. Breathing out as we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're gazing forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our left foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge, mindful of right knee placement over ankle for knee safety. Breathe in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose extended. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out when we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We're stepping our left foot forward. Right knee to the mat or not, you decide. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathing out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side, breathe in, lengthen back up, extend mountain. Breathe out when we swan dive, hinge from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge, mindful of left knee placement over ankle or behind ankle. Breathe in, maybe elevate arms up and overhead. Breathe out, release the hands, we step back, down dog or child's pose extended. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Left side, breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out when we swan dive, hinge from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, gazing forward, monkey. Breathe out, our left foot steps back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe in, I'm demonstrating crescent lunge. Maybe elevate the arms, maybe not. Breathe out, release those hands and step back, down dog or child's pose extended, possibly right leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank, chest over hands. Breathe out when we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, drop the hips, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in as we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side, breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out when we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we're looking forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, we step our right foot back, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. We breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, roll up dog, both feet to the mat. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our right foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing out, releasing our hands as we step forward, forward fold. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Left side, breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out, we swan dive, hinging from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we look forward, monkey pose. Breathe out, our left foot steps back. Kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back. Down dog or child's pose, maybe right leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, we lower down, chaturanga. Breathe in, both feet to the mat, roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose extended. We step our left foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathe out, release our hands as we step forward, forward, forward. Breathe in, we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Right side. Breathe in, lengthen back up, extended mountain. Breathing out when we swan dive, hinge from our hips into our forward fold. Breathe in, we gaze forward, monkey. Breathe out, we step our right foot back. Kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing in, lengthening, heart center sky. Breathe out, release our hands as we step back, down dog or child's pose, maybe left leg kicks up to a three-legged down dog. Let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank. Breathe out, chaturanga. Breathe in, both feet to the mat. Roll up dog. Breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. We step our right foot forward. Breathing in, kneeling warrior or crescent lunge. Breathing out, release our hands as we step forward, forward, forward. Breathe in as we reverse our swan. Breathing out, chair pose. Let's breathe in, lengthen our arms back up and overhead. Breathing out to release hands and energy to our heart center. Finding ourselves stepping one foot back into a wide sunflower stance. We breathe in, lengthen those arms up and overhead. Breathe out, hinging from our hips. Hands can rest at thighs, blocks, floor, depending on flexibility. Take a bend to your knees to get your hands closer to the floor. And then send your hands, if you can, behind your legs, around, wrapping your hands around your ankles, maintaining a fold in your knee joint. Lateral turnout, sunflower stance. Maybe straighten through those knees and let your head get a little bit closer to the floor. Some of us may be successful in straightening knees, others may not, and that's okay. If this hurts your shoulders, release the hold of your arms. Let's take a gentle fold to those knees. Place your hands down to your mat or your blocks or your textbooks. Open those heels out so the sides of your feet are parallel for a straddle splits position. If you'd like to walk your feet out wider, you may. Placing our left hand underneath our face. Right hand to the low back. Twisting towards the right side of our mat. Maybe send our eye gaze over our right shoulder. Possibly straighten through the right elbow joint. And look towards our right hand. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We return to center, switching our hands, right hand underneath our face, left hand to the low back, twisting over towards the left leg, maybe eye gaze over our left shoulder, maybe straighten through the left elbow joint, reaching the left fingertips to the sky. Reminding ourselves whenever we rotate our spine in this manner, to limit rotation if we're pregnant, or to limit rotation if we're having back issues. We return to center. Draw our heels inward back to our sunflower stance, soften those knees. Using the power of our legs, we breathe in as we circle, sweep our arms to the sky. Breathing out to release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Finding ourselves turning our left toes towards the back of our mat, pressing our right heel towards the front of our mat for our warrior two positioning. Adding warrior two arms, including warrior two legs, folding through the left knee joint, sink into low body, expanding back with our upper body. Pressing through the outside of our right heel. Maybe eye gaze towards our left fingers, maybe eye gaze towards the side of our mats. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Reverse warrior, left palm to the sky, right hand drops to the right leg, maintaining a fold in our left knee joint as we expand from our waist through our rib cage and our chest. Breath continuation. Let's return to our warrior two arms. Extended angle, dropping left elbow to left thigh. It's okay to drop our left hand to the floor or to a textbook or a block. Maybe right bicep by right ear. If we'd like to bind our hands, we can bring our right hand behind our back. Left hand goes in front of this left leg, clasping our fingers together, rolling the right shoulder open to the sky for our binding extended angle. It's okay to return to any previous option for our extended angle. We're releasing our hands, returning to our warrior two arms and our warrior two legs. Let's straighten through our left knee joint, triangle pose preparation. Breathe in, we lean towards the back of our mat. Breathe out, dropping our left hand to knee, shin, block, ankle, foot, or floor, or textbook. Press those hips forward, maybe look up towards our right fingers. Imagining our bodies are in between two window panes. Carefully not touching the glass in front or behind us. We can stay here, maybe. Pyramid pose, dropping our right hand down. Hands can go onto blocks or the floor depending on our flexibility. Step the right foot slightly inward. Attempt to straighten through your left knee joint, potentially shifting your hips forward and back to determine if one hip position over another is creating a desired sensation for our left hamstrings. Reverse triangle, raising your left hand to your waist, twisting away from me. Maybe stay here, maybe extend those left fingertips to the sky, potentially sending your eye gaze to your elevated arm. Right hand can go to the outside of the left foot, whether it's on a block or not. Again, limiting your rotation of your spine depending on what your body can handle. We return to our regular pyramid pose. Let's walk our hands over towards the center of our mats, adjusting our feet to our wide sunflower feet, embracing the difference in sensation between the right and the left sides of our bodies. Softening through those knees, using the power of our legs, we circle sweep our arms to the sky. We release our hands and our energy to our heart center. Let's turn our right toes to face the front of our mats as we press our left heel towards the back of our mat. Warrior two arms, warrior two legs, sinking into low body, expanding back with our upper body. Potential eye gaze towards our right fingers, especially if we had given our cervical spine this rotation on the first side. We breathe, imagining that we have a friend tugging onto each hand equally. Pressing through the outside of our left foot. Preparing for reverse warrior, right palm to the sky, maintaining a fold in our right knee joint, dropping our left hand towards our left leg as we expand from our waist, through our rib cage and our chest. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We return to our warrior two arms, preparing for our extended angle, dropping right elbow to right thigh, Left fingertips to the sky, maintaining a fold in our right knee joint. Potentially left bicep by left ear. If we like to bind our hands, left hand behind the back, right hand underneath the right leg, clasping the fingers together, rolling the left shoulder to the sky. Having the liberty to release right hand to the floor or right elbow to the thigh, depending on what benefits our body the most. Letting go of thoughts of the past, letting go of thoughts of the future, finding ourselves in this present breath, in this present moment, returning to our warrior two arms. Let's straighten through our right knee joint. Triangle pose. Breathe in, we lean towards the front of our mat, booty towards the back of our mat. Breathe out, dropping our right hand to knee, shin block, textbook, ankle, foot, or floor. Opening up through the left shoulder as we lengthen the left fingertips to the sky, maybe eye gaze towards our left hand. Always breathing. Still imagining our bodies in between those two window panes. Possibly dropping down to our pyramid. Hands to the floor or to blocks. Stepping our left foot slightly inward, attempting to straighten through our right knee joint. Shifting our hips forward and back. And breathing. I accept my body and my mind completely in this moment, in this breath. Possibly stay here in our pyramid if you'd like your reverse triangle option, sending your right hand to your waist, twisting away from me, maybe straightening through the right elbow joint, maybe raising those right fingertips to the sky. Potentially left hand to the outside of our right foot, whether it's on a block or on the floor. Every day is different, every body is different. Accepting ourselves for where we are today, in this present breath, in this present moment. We carefully return to center and we walk our hands back towards the center of our mats, adjusting our feet to our wide sunflower stance, hopefully achieving a balance between the right and the left sides of our bodies. Using the power of our legs, let's breathe in, circle sweeping our arms to the sky. Breathing out as we release our hands and our energy to our heart center. We'll find ourselves stepping forward towards the front of our mats, mountain pose. Palms are facing forward, shoulders are relaxed away from our ears. We breathe in, lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathe out as we swan dive, hinging from our hips. Forward fold. Softening our knees, airplane pose. Hands reach behind us, palms face the floor. Raise the head up to the height of our tailbone. Possibly stay here. Maybe straighten through our knee joint. We could stay here. If we'd like to move into warrior three options, we can tap our left toes back. Maybe stay here. Possibly raise our left foot up to the height of our spine. Hands can stay in airplane or hands can drop down towards the floor, then potentially biceps by ears for our full warrior three option. If balance allows and you'd like to add a chest expansion for your arms, feel free to do so. Reminding ourselves a great substitute for warrior three if we're not able to balance on one leg is to drop down onto all fours, hands and knees, raising our left leg and our right arm in a spinal balance. Wherever we are, we're carefully releasing fingers and toes, forward fold. Softening our knees, airplane arms, hands reach behind us, palms face the floor. Elevating our head to the height of our tailbone, an imaginary tray of crystal glasses on our backs, possibly straighten those knees without dropping the glasses. Potentially tapping our right toes back, preparing for our warrior three options. Maybe raising Our right foot to the height of our spine. It's okay to be on all fours, quadruped, right leg lifted, left arm lifted in a spinal balance. Hands can stay in airplane or hands can drop down to the floor, and biceps by ears for our full warrior 3 option. Potentially chest expansion arms if we had selected this option on the first side. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We gently release fingers and toes, forward fold. Softening those knees, flattening our palms to the mat. It's okay to have bent knees or straightened legs depending on personal flexibility. Let's walk, hop, or jump, feet back, downward facing dog. Returning briefly to a one breath, one movement concept. Resting our knees down to the mat, hands underneath shoulders, cat, cow. Breathe out, we round. Breathe in as we arch. If we prefer to hold in one of these two poses, we may, whether it's the cat or whether it's the cow, listening to our bodies. We're breathing and we're feeling. We're letting go of thoughts of the past, letting go of thoughts of the future, finding ourselves in this present breath and this present moment. Finding ourselves sitting back into a child's pose, extended, modified, or regular. Modified would bend elbows, stacking fist on top of fist, resting our forehead onto our stacked fists. Regular child's pose would send our hands down by our feet, resting our heads to the mat, block, or potential textbook. Paperback would feel nicer than a regular hard textbook. Extending our arms forward if we're not in our extended child's pose. Preparing to perform some exercises laying on our bellies, which is a prone position. If you're not able to lay on your belly, it's okay to rest in down dog or child's pose, or to return to some sun salutations. If you're joining me, let's breathe into our plank or our modified plank, chest over hands. Breathe out, we lower down all the way, chaturanga, resting face and belly onto the mat. Hands nice and wide down by our shoulders. Gentle cobra, raising our face off of the mat, drawing our shoulder blades towards each other. We could stay here in our gentle cobra. If we'd like to move more into an upward facing dog, it's okay to apply pressure into our hands and lengthen our heart center off of the mat. We release, back down, finding ourselves rolling onto one side for a side lying dancer pose, folding through the knee joint of our top leg, drawing our heel towards our buttocks, and breathing. We carefully release, transition to the other side, bending our knee, drawing this heel towards our buttocks, and breathing. Side lying dancer pose. Planning to return to our abdominals and perform a bow pose. But if you have flexibility issues, it's okay to lay on your side and repeat this sideline dancer pose. Potentially on our bellies, I open my knees out a little bit wider here, folding both knees, sending my hands to my feet. Some people may not be able to reach for their feet here. That's when laying on your side for sideline dancer pose would work. Or maybe you can only reach your hand to one side, and it's okay just to work the one side. Potentially raising every single body part you can off of the mat, defying gravity. Bow pose. And let's release back down. Gentle cobra. Let's release back down, returning to our bow pose. If you were able to only fold one side, try the other side. If you perform dancer pose, switch over to the other side. Possibly folding both knees, hands to feet, and lifting every single body part we can off of the mat. If we're laying on our backs. Creating space with our exhalations. We release back down. Child's pose. Extended, modified, or regular. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Preparing for a pigeon pose from a downward facing dog. Options to lay on your back for a reclining pigeon pose. Right ankle to left thigh. Otherwise, finding ourselves into our downward facing dog, sinking head through arms. Let's raise one leg up towards the sky, three-legged down dog. We sweep this knee up towards our chest as we rest this foot over to the opposite side of our mat. We could stay upright in our pigeon. We could surrender elbows and forearms to our mat. We're letting go of thoughts of the past. Letting go of thoughts of the future. Finding ourselves in this present breath. In this present moment. Screaming pigeon options, hands underneath shoulders, folding our back leg, and sending a hand or both hands towards this foot to draw our heel in towards our buttocks. We carefully release, hands back underneath shoulders if you're performing the down dog regular pigeon pose. Otherwise, switch over to the other side. We step back into our down dog. Noticing the difference in sensation between the right and the left sides of our bodies. Let's raise our other knee high up towards the ceiling, three-legged down dog. We're sweeping this foot up towards our face and dropping onto our knee of our straight leg. Potentially staying upright, possibly releasing elbows and forearms to the mat. Avoid falling onto the butt cheek of the leg that has the knee bent. If we had selected the screaming pigeon option on the first side, potentially attempting this side, realizing sometimes it's easier on one side over another. Possibly hands underneath shoulders, folding through the knee joint to the back leg, drawing a hand or both hands towards that foot to draw your heel in towards your buttocks. We gently release, returning to our down dog. If we performed pigeon from a regular down dog position. We're resting our knees to the mat as we walk our hands back towards our knees. Finding ourselves wrapping our feet around towards the front of our mats. Moving closer to the earth as we lay down on our backs. Straightening one leg forward as we bring our knee in towards our chest. Spinal twist, taking our opposite hand to leg as we press this knee to the other side. Maybe send our eye gaze away from this bent leg. Dorsiflexing the foot of our straight leg, pulling those toes up towards our body. Promoting rotation of the spine to guide us in our digestive tract. Let's return to center. Transition to the other side, pulling your other knee in towards your chest and gently pressing this leg away. Maybe eye gaze to your opposite hand as well. Dorsiflexing the foot of your straight leg. Breathing in through the low back. Breathe out, possibly use your exhalation to help you sink 1/10 of a millimeter deeper into your stretch. Finding our comfortable discomfort in our poses. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Let's carefully return to center. Bending both knees, soles of the feet to the mat, bridge pose. Raising our hips off of the mat, possibly walking our shoulders a little closer towards each other, potentially interlacing our hands underneath our buttocks. Breath continuation. We release the hold of our hands and we rest our hips back down to our mats. Straightening our legs forward, reaching our arms up and overhead. Let's reach through the right side of our body, right toes, right fingers. Now let's reach through the left side of our body, left toes, left fingers. And let's return to center. We can rest our hands by our sides or up to the side letter T shape, whatever feels most comfortable for your body. Possibly turning your head to one direction as if you were shaking your head no, and just feel the release through the cervical spine on this rotation. Return to center and turn or twist your head now to the other side to promote a balance. Carefully returning to center. Happy baby pose. Bending our knees. If possible, raising the feet up to the sky, knees are nice and open. Potentially wrap and cap your peace fingers, your middle and index fingers around your big toes. Soles of the feet to the sky. If this is not available to you, possibly your palms to the arches of your feet. If your flexibility allows, straightening through the knee joint. Head could be resting or head could be elevated. And let's release. Hugging our knees in towards our chest. If we'd like to rock a little bit side to side, we may. Just a reminder, when we enter relaxation, you always have the opportunities to lay on your side in a fetal position, lay on your back, lay on your belly, whatever might feel most comfortable. If you want to scoot yourselves up against a wall and lift your feet up against that side wall, you may. Before we enter relaxation, let's move through some muscle tightening. We breathe in, tighten and squeeze, holding on to every single muscle in our body. Breathe out, soften, release, relax. Again, breathe in, tighten and squeeze, holding on. Breathe out, soften, release, relax. Last time, tighten and squeeze, holding on, potentially raising body parts off of the mat. Breathe out, soften, release, and let go. We're allowing our feet to flop open. We're allowing our palms to face the sky. If you'd like to adjust your body into a different position for final relaxation, you may. I'm going to choose the wall today. This is your time to breathe. This is your time to feel. If a thought comes to mind, allow your exhalation to erase it. let's gently roll over onto one side, returning to a fetal position. Wiggling fingers and toes to help reawaken the body. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. Today, I allow my breath to release any tension or stress. We're pressing ourselves up to a seated position. By the way, our word of the day is triangle. T as in Tom, R as in rhinoceros, I as in iguana, A as in apple, N as in Nancy, G as in giraffe, L as in lion, E as in elephant, triangle. Returning to our alternate nostril breathing, closing the right nostril, breathe in through the left. Before we breathe out, open up the other nostril and close the one. That was just open. Release the hold of your nostrils. Let's switch the cross of our applesauce legs. Tilting here towards shoulder, lengthening the muscles on the side of our neck. We return to center. Alternate over to the other side. And we return to center. Let's breathe and lengthen our arms up and overhead. Breathing out as we release hands and energy to our heart center. Thank you for taking the time to join me today. My spirit honors yours. Namaste.